Yo, what's going on, guys? It's GentooMan here, and today's story time is another kind of scary one. This story time is about the time that I encountered a creepy clown. So if you don't know what a creepy clown is, it was a thing a couple of years ago where people would just dress up as clowns around Halloween time, and they'd just kind of walk around and just act scary and like scare people, and it was like this whole trend. It died out like a good couple of years ago. Like it was a fair amount of time ago, but it was a pretty big thing. I think it was a thing in like 2016, 2017, maybe even 2018, something like that. That's when it was a thing. This story takes place a little bit later than that, but it's still about that. So anyways, I'm going to hop into it. And this story time takes place probably about a year ago now. And in this story time, I had to wake up really early around this time because, I didn't really have to, but I felt like it because my girlfriend was working this job where she had to be there very early in the morning, like still very dark outside, kind of early in the morning. So I tried to be a good boyfriend, and I would wake up at the same time, and I borrowed my mom's car, and I drove her because it's dark outside, it's early in the morning, least I can do is give you a ride. So I'd do that every morning. I'd get up, I'd drive her there, and then I'd drive home, and then I'd go to bed before I had to get up and go to work. But yeah, so I did that, and one of the conditions that my mom had set is if I was going to use her car, then I needed to get gas on my way home this particular day. I'm like, okay, that's not that big of a hindrance upon my early morning. So I picked up my girlfriend, and we drove her to work, and everything was fine. She made it there on time. I made sure she got inside, and I started to drive home. And I drove home, and I got to this gas station, and then I got out, and then I tried to pay for my gas at the pump, but for some reason it wasn't working. And then I saw a sign on the pump that said, like, yeah, this pump isn't working with that. Like, you need to go pay inside. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I go into the gas station, and like, I'm kind of hungry and thirsty. So I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll look around. Maybe I'll get myself a snack. I know it's really early in the morning, but like, whatever. And so I look around, and this is a pretty big gas station too. And so I'm looking around, and as I'm looking at the drinks, I see a guy in like dressed like a clown. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And like, it was about October. Like, I think it was about a year ago. So it was like Halloween season, but it wasn't Halloween. So it was a little odd. It was a little odd, but I just decided to not like pay any attention to it. 'Cause it's like, it's the gas station. It's really early in the morning. It's dark outside. There's like weird people and crackheads in the city and whatnot. So I didn't think much of it. And I kind of just like kept looking like for my drink. And I kept noticing this clown guy looking around and looking at me. Like, he kept kind of, like, taking a side-eye glance at me. But, like, he kept, like, walking around the place. Eventually, I settled on, like, I don't know, probably, like, a Mountain Dew or something. Like, Mountain Dew Voltage sounds like me. And I got that, and then I paid for the gas. And I kind of got into a conversation with the guy who was, like, running the till at the gas station. He's like, hey, man, like, what was that clown guy about? Like, is he a regular around here? And he's like, I don't know, man. Like, I've seen some weird people in here before, and like, I feel like I may have seen him, but I also don't know. And I'm like, oh, did he like buy anything? Because he kind of like left my line of sight, and I hadn't seen him in a while. He's like, no, he kind of just like came in, looked around, and then went out. I'm like, all right, okay, that happens a lot. Like, you get people coming into gas stations, kind of like wandering around and then leaving. It's weird, but it happens a fair amount. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I pay for the gas, pay for my drink. I'm like, all right, thanks, man. Have a good day, I guess. He's like, yeah, you too, man. And so I step out of the gas station, and I'm kind of not paying attention. Like, I kind of have my phone out. I'm like texting my girlfriend, telling her to have a good day at work, and like texting my mom saying that I'm getting the gas. And I'm not really paying attention. And then I look up from my phone to where the car is, and I see the guy in the clown suit walking around the car. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking, like, what the hell? Like, what? And I'm a pretty, like, non-confrontational person. So, I guess a normal person probably would have yelled, like, hey, what are you doing? And, like, I kind of did, but, like, not that loud. Like, I kind of got a little bit closer and was like, hey, what are you doing, man? And then he kind of just looks at me and just, like, stared at me. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I didn't really say anything. I'm just kind of watching this man stare at me until he starts, like, stepping forward towards me, and then I like start stepping back, so I don't want him to get too close to me. Then he starts moving faster, so I also start moving faster and like turn around and run. Like luckily the car was locked. I'm just now realizing, but I like ran for it because this man full out and went into like a full sprint, just chasing after me. So I ended up running across like the road because like the high school is just like right across the road from this gas station, and it was still really dark outside, so it was really early in the morning. So I ran across the road to where the high school is and just like hid like at the edge of the field on the other side of the parking lot. And I could just see like a couple of the lights from like the road and the gas station that kind of like illuminated everything. And like I could kind of see the silhouette of the clown guy like kind of coming over into the parking lot. And at this point, like I get a text from my mom, like I need the car home. I got to go to work myself. So can you hurry up? At this point, I'm thinking like, well, that's not good. Like I got to get the car home. And of course, that's the only thing going through my mind. Not like I might be in danger. Just, I got to get the car home. So I go into the parking lot. And like there's some cars, like I don't know why. There was already like a couple cars parked in the school parking lot. Like maybe some students left their cars there. Maybe some teachers left their cars there. Maybe other people were just parked there. Whatever. But there was a couple cars there. And I kid you not, I literally felt like I was playing a level in Outlast, like where you had to like sneak around somebody and be all stealthy like, because I literally snuck between all of these cars and just like tried to avoid this guy so I could get to the other side of the road back to my car at the gas station. And I ended up doing it. I got back to my car at the gas station and then I filled it up with gas. Looking over my shoulder and around for the clown guy, who I think was still over at the school looking for me. Then I quickly got in my car and drove home, and then promptly went back to bed, hoping that all of this was a nightmare, because that was not cool. And this was around the time that the Terrifier movie came out, so maybe that had something to do with it. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up the story time here. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you're new. I'll leave a link to all of my socials down in the description. And yeah, feel free to follow me on Twitter and TikTok, and I have a Twitch now as well. Haven't streamed yet though. Be on the lookout for that. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Stay awesome, you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Later.